Hello. Good morning, everyone. It's 1:49 in the afternoon out here in Sri Lanka. It is the early morning hours right before the New York session on the east coast of America, and on the west coast in Los Angeles, you guys are still sleeping. So, uh, good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone. I am coming here with some really great news. I'm actually up in some money today. I was actually going really, really hard at my system refinement over the weekend, and I ended last week with some wins, also with some losses. I broke even last week on my trades, so unfortunately, I didn't take home a bag, but I do look forward to doing that today. I look forward to seeing some sort of bullish momentum towards the upside on my primary pair that I'm going to be explaining, which is USD CHF. And I would like to also keep this video as short as possible. So let's get into it. We can see what's happening right now in this pair, but I'll get back to it. At the moment, I have an alert set at 92.9. That's basically indicating that it should continue on towards the upside. And I also have didn't put an alert, but I'll probably alert myself if anything. If it does drop lower and lose momentum within the time I'm speaking, I have alert set about 23 pips away from there. So I'm gonna get back to that pair and I'll explain what it's doing, but I want to go over my loss first. So Euro GBP, I was bullish and keep it simple and short. I closed out of my trade real early, to be honest. I knew the market was going to be on a downward movement because of my previous videos from last week. I indicated that Euro GBP was in more of a range bound approach. So I did suspect that if price were to pretty much break lows below here, we would see that it would be in a range for the next week or so. And it definitely did break low. It bounced off of support around 0.854, and it did bounce to some highs, and then it bounced off from those newly created highs from where it fell from back towards that support. So, like I said, it's definitely in a range for the week, and if you are a person that wants to catch about 40 pips and know that it's going to still go up long term, this would not be a bad area to look for a long off of. Me personally, I do think that it will continue to drop all the way to 0.8504, around this area, 0.850. I believe it might drop another 40 pips. So if I want to swing it for the medium term for the intra week, I'm going to do that. But just a moment, I have some house cleaning. Just a minute, be right back. So if there's noise in the background, I just had housekeeping come in. They're cleaning my villa right now, so I'm still going to go through this and explain the rest. So at the moment, we do see a potential rally happening from this zone, but it definitely looks pretty weak to my understanding. Looking at the 5 minute, we can see that price is definitely on a very strong downturn, and it's going to take a lot, maybe some fundamentals, to push price back towards the upside and see a rally from there. So I wouldn't even be looking for longs at all for the next, I'd say about 30 pips. So stay below there. See what we can do is you're kind of sitting in hope and fear at this point. You're not looking for anything really, and your hope and fear might be indicating to you that you should just get out. This is not strong support, and so if it doesn't hold, then you're kind of just going to be at a disadvantage, looking for ways to reinforce your reason for being wrong. We all kind of know at this point where it's most likely going to go, unless, like I said, a miracle happens or some sort of turnaround news. And so right now we are seeing a slight pullback, which is just going to retest this current downtrend. Uh, but momentum has it towards the downside, so leave it alone. And I want to get into the next couple pairs Right now we see GBP AUD is actually on its way towards profit target 1 I set earlier. So I bought in from some lows earlier, and I am waiting for a pump to the most recent lower high. This would be the top of the range. It is currently ranging. So we'll just see the 21st, get some highs before rallying down. And at the moment we try to go into a quieter room. So we took a step outside. At the moment, we are seeing some sort of rally towards the top of that range, and with my current strength of everything, I do see a potential push higher. The first TP1 zone is basically confirmation that it's going to go up, and the next TP zone will be slightly above around 0.895. I don't believe that it's going to hit there today, so that's why I have my daily target set a little bit lower than that. I'm just going to take it leg by leg, and I do believe after reaching these highs, there's a chance that it will bounce back shortly towards the downside. That's where I will be looking for further entries to get back in to take it on to the upside for more. So I'm taking about 70% of my trades off, a few more pips above. So we can see this right there. And that's it for GA. Let's see how I'm doing on time. 6 minutes, beautiful. For GA, I do have. All right, back to it. So I'm doing pretty well on time. Let's get back to this. So I do foresee Euro USD to continue its trend. It's pushed towards the downside a lot further, and there's nothing really telling me that it's gonna pull up at the moment. And we can see I'm in a couple sells right now. I could add to this, scaling into it, but at the moment I've kind of already maxed in on my position. I have this towards a support zone as well. It's coming up. That's TP1 for this trade. Give me a solid 40 pips on a day. If we look at the ATR on the euro dollar, it's 40 pips for the daily ATR. So that would mean I'm taking about 50 to 70% off of my positions in case of any potential. This is a profit-taking area, so any potential pullback against me, I could take advantage of that and utilize the pullback trend as an opportunity to get back in and take it further down. But that's pretty much it for Euro USD. We can see TP1 right there, TP2. After that, I'm going to reassess the trade and see if the risk is worth getting back in or not. I'd be looking at that from a smaller leg, so I'd be looking at the 5, 15, and 30-minute trends to really find my entry once that profit is taken. But at the moment, we got to take it leg by leg, phases at a time, and so TP1, TP2, and a potential drop toward the downside ending this quarter looks like it's very likely. I did go over this in my previous video as well. Once I take TP1 and 2 today, there's another daily ATR to be taken. This might be the weekly target all the way up until there's NFP this week. This Friday, it should be the new month. So first week of the new month. So stay tuned. NFP is this Friday, and a bunch of Q3 switch over, and there's just a lot of volatility to expect. So I'm actually going to just be out sooner than later and play the game with as risk seeking, because there's going to be a lot of risk, and you don't want to be caught up in that if there is a lot of risk. So just taking it little by little, and we'll follow up with this as well. GA is doing its thing, taking it little by little, just explain that. Total on this account right now is currently 1187, 1200, and rolling. And going over this, like I said, it's good to be out of a trade and know that it's going against you, knowing why it's going against you, instead of being in a trade trying to explain why it's going against you and defending that open position. There's a difference between mindset and mentality. And then also, when you are ready to get back in the trade, you're gonna come back with a more refreshed state of mind a lot sooner. So trading, my approach and the way I'm trying to refine the academy is going to be the future of trading. Now, let's see my last pair. It's USD CHF. I already suspected that there would be a potential pullback into this zone where we're currently testing. Old resistance that became support. We're looking to bounce off of that, or if we're not anything, we're going to crash into this, creating intra-session range. And if we are in an intra-session range, it's not the end of the world. So stop loss, my hard stop at this point for the day would be about 35 or so pips away from current price. So it would be technically below this 2 standard, but I'm still working on my intra-session trading, so I still will stick with my daily stop, which is not that much farther below. It's from my initial order, it's about 30 pips below that. So once I get a little bit more in tune with this strategy for the week, like I said, I do see that my entry should be in break even at the moment for at least the next, let's look at it, for the next 30, 40 pips. It should at least stay in the break even. So I do suspect price to stay above this current little zone right here, but we're just gonna have to see, wait and watch. Not at that level yet, but we can see everything is playing out. I will follow up with everyone at the end of the week, or actually the middle of the week. I'm gonna let these close out. If I do hit profits today, then I'll have a follow-up video tomorrow. If I don't hit profits today, then it's gonna be in the middle of the week when I have a follow-up video. If you guys want to see the balance on this account, first and foremost, yes, it is live. I'll just bring the screen up so we can all see. It's another live account. Okay, bring it back down. And so far, the balance on this one is, you can see it's, I withdraw pretty frequently on this. This is what I just withdraw to pay rent money, believe it or not. I don't even have a large account for my rent because you don't really need to do that, to be honest. It's like, you know how to trade, you can put 10 bands down and know you're making 20% a week, a day, a month, or whatever, and you kind of already know what you're gonna, your expectancy is already made from the moment you open up the damn platform. But yeah, I'm up about 7% on this, probably a little bit more, and yeah, just kind of gotta let this play out, and yep, that's about it, guys. We'll follow up midweek.